Sometimes in life, you find yourself on the right side of the line.
I find it strange that we as men are so comfortable with the fact that we have nipples.
Are you in a prison rec room?
That's why I call my baby Maxwell House.
If you drink blood every day, can you donate more often?
Live from Texas, this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast. You hear that? It's Brent and Landon, and this is the Dryline Farmer Podcast.
Well, hello, everybody. We're kind of gotten on a every other week schedule. We're going to try to get back into the swing of things now that it's getting into the... sadly, it's not even the dog days of summer because it's the first part of June, and this weekend it's gonna be beautiful, isn't it, Landon?
Oh, it's gonna be warm.
You gonna do any outdoor activities when it's 106 degrees?
We'll probably play 36 holes of golf. Probably walk it.
So I'm thinking my oldest son's got a flag football game on Sunday, I think, and it's supposed to be 105, 106. And my son pretty much melts when it gets above about 87. So I don't know if he's gonna be too big of a fan of that. Not that he's a starter or anything, but it is. I'm not looking for. If he just thinks he can't make it, I'm probably all right with it because I've got to watch it. And anyway, but it's going to be a beautiful 3-day stretch of 103, 106, and then 104, and then back to the cool mid 90s, which we've kind of been spoiled the last few days. It's been hadn't been really cotton weather. It's been that kind of overcast, but yet it doesn't rain. That's what's my favorite part. We get the cool weather for the cotton, but it won't even rain, so that's nice.
So you're not getting moisture or your heat units.
I'm not getting either one of those, but I think we're about to catch up on the heat units. I'm never worried about being short on heat units.
Yeah. You're gonna have some heat units in the bank.
It's always those moisture units I'm always short on, it seems like.
Yeah,
I'm always looking for those moisture units, but
moisture and price units.
Yeah, I love price units. I love the price units. Yeah, but yeah, so it's going to be a great weekend. So being out in the sun, that lends to our topic this week. Now, I don't know if a lot of you have heard, but Landon is bald and he cannot go out in the sun for very long. But no, the big news story is there's this new cancer treatment. And it is a very small sample size, but this is on the Daily Mail. And if you want more cookies and more malware and anything you can ever imagine to infect your computer, just go onto the Daily Mail website because they've got pop-ups and side ads and all kinds of stuff on their website. The only problem, the reason I use it is because it's a legitimate news source. So, but it's got so much crap on it. There's no
legitimate pop-ups.
This has got a bakery of cookies on this thing. But so this news story, the headline is "Doctors are left stunned after cancer quote disappears for in all caps every patient in drug trial, raising hopes treatment is tip of the iceberg." And so this has got. They've got disappears in quotes. They've got every in all caps. Then they've got tip of the iceberg in quotes. Then it says, and can be used to help people fighting other forms of the disease. Okay, Landon. So a new colorectal cancer drug, and I know you're big in the colorectal cancer industry since you're such an asshole. But a new colorectal cancer drug has shocked researchers with how effective it is against the highly dangerous disease. After it virtually cured, I almost said killed every member, cured every member of a clinical trial. Dostarlimab, a monoclonal antibody drug that is already approved to treat endometrial cancer in the UK. I ought to be doing this in an English accent since this is the Daily Mail. Smashed expectations in a trial at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center in New York. 1 year after the trial ended, each of the 18 participant cancer had gone into remission, with doctor unable to find signs of cancer in the body. Okay, so obviously this is very good, very promising news. Colorectal cancer is obviously not a popular topic to talk about, but it does kill several people every year. Lots and lots of people. Because, Landon, why does it kill lots and lots of people? What is the process of getting your rectum checked? Rectum? Hell, it damn near killed them.
Yeah, they wreck it all right.
Yeah. Because people don't want to get it checked. That's just, yeah. So it goes on to say how they're really excited. Great. Huh?
What's the guy say on Road Trip? You want me to use two fingers?
2 fingers?
2. Better make it 3.
Damn Stifler, I swear. Okay, back to my Daily Mail article here. Okay, so this is a member of the White House National Cancer Advisory Board. We are investigating if this same method may help with other cancers where the treatments are often life-altering and tumors can be MMRD'd. I guess, I don't know what that is, but we are currently enrolling patients with gastric, prostate, and pancreatic cancers. Okay, so Landon, this leads to this week's topic. What would people do? How would people act if we were actually able, not we, I mean, we can't even cure a sneeze, but if scientists and doctors can find a way to cure cancer where any cancer that is found can be like, you just go to the doctor like you're going for like, a busted knee or something. You can just show up one day and they can fix your cancer. The question is, how would people act? How would society change if we had no fear of cancer anymore? Any thoughts, Landon? Or do I need to give you a example of what I'm getting at?
Can I have multiple choice? No, I think it'd be great.
So I believe I would go immediately and buy stock in Marlboro, Philip Morris, Camel. I would
put the sunscreen up.
Yes, put the sunscreen. So yeah, that's there. So absolutely, everybody would start smoking again. The preacher in the pulpit, the cop in the car, the dad at the soccer game, the ref, the ump. The teachers in the classroom, everybody would start smoking again. It would be an absolute free-for-all. It would look like Mission Control during Apollo 13. That's what it would look like.
Stewie on Family Guy would be putting him away, man.
Did he have a smoking episode?
No, but he wouldn't. All the cartoons would start smoking again, like they did back in the back in the olden days.
So Kramer would be the Marlboro Man again, you know. Joe Camel. There'd be. I mean, can you imagine the advertising blitz of the cigarette industry if there was no more cancer?
I mean, just the fact that they've survived this far, even with cancer, it would be unreal.
So that's I've said this a time or two before, but say I make it to like 70, 75, and I haven't had lung cancer or anything like that. I'm going to start smoking at 70 or 75 because say the cancer,
it's so cool.
Yeah, I could be the coolest son of a bitch at the rest home.
Yeah.
Because, how long does it usually take? Say you're smoking like 2 packs a day. That still takes a good, at least 15 years before the cancer starts showing up. And a lot of times that's a bad, most of the time people can smoke till they're freaking, for 30 years or 40 years until the cancer shows up.
I always wonder how the people that smoke that never get cancer and they smoke their whole lives.
I know. It's like I said before, at rest homes, you'll see old smokers before you see old obese people. There are no fat people at the rest home. They have heart attacks long before the lung cancer kicks in, on tracheotomy lady. Yeah, she sounds like that dude on South Park. Yeah, Special Cartman, how are you today? But
I still remember the first time I saw somebody that talked out of their...
Had a trach, yeah.
Yeah. I was probably 5 or 6, and I'd passed out in the farm pickup. And so this guy came up to buy some hay or whatever, and or maybe I think he worked at the fuel company and he was delivering some fuel. And I remember waking up to this weird noise, and my dad was talking to this guy, and I go, and I'm just like mouth to the freaking ground, like just looking at this guy. I'm sure my dad was like hitting me to like quit, but I was amazed.
How much are that? $8 a bell. Oh, yeah, I bet that was pretty trippy because you were a young kid, I imagine.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first time I'd ever been around it.
Yeah.
Well, as soon as he left, I had a few questions for my dad.
So, yeah, I would absolutely. So, like, I would do the Marlboro Red 100s, like the stripper cigarettes. I mean, just get into it, man. Look, cancer? Okay, I've got a doctor's appointment next week. They're going to go, give me a pill, and it's going to be gone. So,
do you think vaping will be cool when you're 75?
Vaping won't be cool if I was 175 because they've got the Kratom shop next to the Little Caesars, and we looked that up the last couple weeks ago, and it was basically what basil or herbs. It's like when Michael and Dwight try to set up Toby. It's like they try to plant drugs in his. They give it smells like basil and some Italian dressing, I think.
Yeah.
Oh God. Anyway, so yeah, absolutely, smoking would be would absolutely come back into society. Okay, I'm thinking asbestos would really become popular again because isn't that like a non-flammable insulation? Isn't that that like the whole reason they used asbestos because it was non-flammable?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
that stuff would make a huge comeback.
So the foam insulation guys, they would have to sell their rigs. It would all be back to the asbestos guys. So that would also be another thing. Lead paints, I think, would really have a big comeback because don't they last a whole lot longer than whatever non-lead? Ooh, what about leaded gasoline? Man, we could have leaded gasoline again. I don't know if is that like a higher, does you get better gas mileage on leaded gasoline, or is it like better on your engine, or what is it?
Come on, Brent. We cured cancer, not global warming.
No, I don't think the lead had to do with anything with the that did. I think it was the cancer thing, wasn't it? Do we need to look that up?
Probably. Yeah, you better look it up.
Why do we not have leaded gas? Why do we not have leaded anymore? The U.S. began phasing out leaded gasoline in 1975, not for health reasons, but because it fouled catalytic converters, which were just then being mandated to reduce emissions. Leaded gas could be sold in the U.S. until 1996, although by that time it was extremely rare and limited to classic car and marine uses. So they did it. They had the catalytic converters, but that was to reduce emissions. So if they didn't, it still goes back to what you said. I guess it had no. Okay, so here's a National Geographic. They're pretty left-leaning. Let's see what it says. Finally, the end of. Huh?
I wasn't prepared to talk about cancer. I thought we were going to talk about boxing mice.
The last leaded fuel has finally disappeared. Okay, this was written last year in September. The last leaded fuel has finally disappeared from gas stations. The last country in the world to sell it, Algeria. Well, they are really a progressive country with all, with the whole slavery thing and everything that they still have going on there. But it is a big day, says Jane Akumu, the lead Africa program officer. For the past 19 years, country by country efforts to eradicate leaded fuel have been carried by the. Okay, I don't want to sign up. Okay, here we go. By the early 70s, researchers were certain enough of lead's health effects to take their results to newly created EPA. Japan was the first to ban leaded gas in 1980. So, yeah, it's a health thing. Okay. So, I think leaded gas would absolutely come back. We'll know, because I guess we'll have electric cars by then, so. Okay. I don't know if it's irritating or not, but everybody would probably start bathing in Roundup again. Go fill up the sprayer, have absolutely no gloves, shorts, flip-flops, get that Gramoxone on you, just everything, man. There is nothing more. Oh, that Gramoxone, boy, they make it stink for a reason because they got the skull and crossbones on it, and I mean, that stuff is some freaking hazardous shit. You do not want that on your skin. So, yeah. I think they would start putting sweet and low in everything because isn't aspartame known to give rats cancer?
Yeah, they wouldn't have to mention those two rats.
yeah. So, yeah, sweet and low would be in all desserts, maybe even like breakfast foods and all kinds of things. But I think aspartame would really have a really big comeback if they could prove that they could cure cancer once and for all. So that's another good thing to look at. Let's see. There wouldn't be a white woman left because every tanning bed, every sun deck, everything that had any kind of UV radiation, they would be under that thing at least 3 hours a day to have a nice summer tan, a nice hue, as George Costanza likes it. And there wouldn't be a white woman left standing anywhere on the planet.
People would go to sleep in those things like Dracula does at night in a coffin.
They would put on those swimming goggles that are covered up, and of course, I mean, you may not get cancer, but you're still going to get the sunburn. But I would think if we can cure cancer, chances are we can go ahead and take a pill to. Why? You know what? That makes me. Why can't they give you a pill that maybe they can give you a pill that makes you resistant to UV radiation? I bet that's in the works.
I don't think there's a pill that's going to cure the farmer's tan, Brent.
Well, I guarantee, Landon, if we could cure all this shit, there wouldn't be no farmer's tan because there would be no shirt.
There'd be a few still.
Oh, God.
I would hope to God that there would still be a few.
Oh, if there's a God, there'll still be lots of shirts going around. So, yeah. No, there wouldn't be a pasty person left on the planet, man, because everybody would have a great tan. Even the accountants up in the nerds on the third floor. So yeah. And since this is the testing that they're doing is on colorectal, and that would be the first cancer to be cured, I would think visits to the ER for rectal injuries would probably skyrocket because people's fear of putting stuff up there would probably increase, or would decrease quite a bit, just for the simple fact they know they put a lead number 2 pencil up there. I don't know why you would want to, but you'd have to go see the Asman, Dr. Asman. That would be also be a great thing for society to change.
That's my move.
1 in a million shot, Doc. 1 in a million. Drinking, I would think alcoholism would probably go up, wouldn't it? Because, what do they say? Can't that alcohol cause liver cancer? Cancer in the liver? I know it's cirrhosis, but that's basically just as bad. So basically every bad human habit, because what? The HPV, that's what, STD, and of course now we got monkeypox to dodge. Landon, have you dodged the monkeypox so far?
I think I'm safe on that one.
Have you not been getting nice with any blue ass baboons in the last couple months?
From the very limited research I've done, I think I'm safe.
So I'll never forget. This was when I had my foot worked on. God, this was probably 7 years ago, and I don't know what the disease was, but I showed up and they had to ask me if I had been to East Africa in the last several months. I'm like, do I look like I go to East Africa very often? Of course, I know they.
You have to answer those questions every time you donate blood.
Oh, have you been to East Africa?
Yeah, and have you made nice with
blue ass baboons? So, my niece is in Spain right now. She is there for like a study abroad deal for a month, and so she showed up to the Amarillo airport with her COVID test results. They said, "Oh no, that's not the correct kind of test. You have to have the blood test, or I guess it was a blood test." So by some miracle, she was able to go to urgent care center somewhere in Amarillo and get a blood test done and catch the next flight and not miss her connecting flight to Spain in Dallas. So, wow. That's, so used to after 9/11, it goes, did anybody pack your bags for you? It's like, who am I, Mr. Belvedere? Yeah, my butler packed it for you. Has anybody else that you don't know ever had in possession of your bag since you've been here? Well, I don't know. I don't know them. So those just goofy ass questions. So I always just said, I hope not. Needless to say, I didn't fly a whole lot, but it was, I always had a whole lot of fun with those questions. So, Landon, let's see what else. What else would people probably do? The other cancer-causing agents, foods. They say red meat can cause eating cancer. What eating cancer? Eating red meat can cause cancer if you're eating a lot of excess. I would think here in the beef capital of the world, maybe that might be our problem. Either that or all the manure in the air. One of the two. Do you think airborne fecal matter causes cancer?
I think it doesn't help anything on that.
It does contribute to allergies, to say the least, very much so.
Yeah.
But let's see.
You probably have more nuclear plants.
Well, you would think so, because I watched you probably didn't watch it, but I watched that Netflix documentary on the 3 Mile Island. That was like the most intensive, like overplayed and like dark and mysterious documentary where absolutely nobody died. They had all these. It was basically a whole bunch of almosts that happened in the 3 Mile Island accident. You know what I'm talking about? The nuclear reactor was what? Is that Pennsylvania? Yeah, 3 Mile Island, Pennsylvania, back in the I think it was the late 70s, early 80s. Anyway, so they basically what happened was some relief valve didn't work right, and it created all this pressure inside the deal, and they were close to a meltdown, like within 20 minutes of the thing melting down before maybe, I don't know if they released pressure or whatever they did, but so they issued a evacuation order for the city and all this and that. But every time they interviewed somebody, they were always saying, this almost happened, and that almost happened, and I almost could have gotten sick if this would have happened. So the only nuclear disaster we ever had didn't happen. So anyway, if we had like a nuclear plant like in every other county, we could have more freaking. Well, no, you got to have it next to a body of water, because they take a massive amount of water to cool those fuel rods down. So that's why it's always, anyway, yeah. Not only am I a nuclear engineer, I'm a rocket surgeon on the weekend.
Yeah, if we cure cancer, we probably won't have Aaron Brockovich part 2.
Won't have Aaron Brockovich part 2. No, Philadelphia was AIDS, wasn't it? Yeah. Let's see what else. Let's see. What else? They think cured Roundup. Not Banville. There's other chemicals they think cause cancer, but I'm wondering. Dipping. I never could get into dipping though. When I was in college, we went to the theater. We got us now this is not dip, of course. This is just chew. But I'd get me a bag of Levi Garrett, and I would go into the movie, and I'd get me a chaw, and it tasted good. But then I'd walk out of the theater, and I'd have all these drool stains on my shirt because I couldn't get all the spit to. You know how like when you're trying to spit and your saliva is just like maxed out, like you can't make any more, and it strings. I'd always have to string it to the lip of the cup and then pull it away. Otherwise, I'd come out looking like Corky from Life Goes On. It's just one of those terrible things. Anyway,
I tried that once, and it effed me up so bad.
So my freshman year at Tech, one of my buddies, he was trying he went and got like 6 different cans of dip. He got Copenhagen, he got Skull, then he got like a couple flavor like Cherry Skull, Wintergreen Skull. Said the Copenhagen. I'm like, I'll try that Cherry Skull. I should have gotten the Wintergreen, but I'm like, let me try that Cherry Skull. I might be all right. It's flavored and everything. I took a dip of it, dude, and I was drunk in like 15 minutes.
Instantly, yeah.
I had to go. He was on the second floor. I had a first floor a dorm, and I had to go down to my room. I didn't puke. But I was I had the spinning and all that. I just had, a 12-pack of beers over a night. And I was hammered. I went to the showered, tried to make myself feel better. Man, I never had it again. It's just, I couldn't stand it.
Dude, when I started, one of our farmers told a story about he didn't want to like do the whole chewing and spitting thing. So somebody told him, they're like,
just swallow
"We'll
it.
just put it between your toes. It'll work. It'll work just as quick or whatever." So he started plowing for his dad. This is like way back in the 50s or 60s.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever. And he said he put it in his boot and he starts plowing. He said, I don't even think he made it to the end of the field. And he had this crooked line. He goes, I couldn't get my freaking boot off fast enough.
Are you serious?
I guess that crap, just absorbs through your skin.
Yeah.
He said it F's him up so bad and so quick.
I would think your like your feet, that's some of the toughest skin you've got down on your feet.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know.
I mean, and I guess opposite would be your gums are probably the most porous skin you've got. So yeah, other than maybe your booty hole, but
you see guys walking around there with their armpits closed. What are you doing? Oh, just dipping.
Dude, you see all these guys. You see all these college guys duck walking across campus because they're trying to hold their head. We call that a tobacco mule.
Why won't you shake my hand?
Trust me, Bobby. You don't want to.
Henry, raise your hand if you want to talk in class.
Oh God. Damn, that went south in a hurry. Oh, yeah. So, no, the first time I tried it was in high school. We were during golf. And somebody they had Copenhagen. And I took a little pinch of it and I put it in there. And I don't know. That skull was just so much worse. Maybe I didn't get very much of that Copenhagen or what. But, oh, my gosh, dude. I mean, you could take 2 or 3 shots of Crown and not have the effect that dip of snuff does. Or snuff did. It was just, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, Landon, you were saying where you tried it at was what?
So I was a senior, and we had just got knocked out of the basketball playoffs. We were down in Austin, and so we went back to the hotel and we're watching some movie, and one of my friends at Div was like, "You want to try one?" And I'm like, "Yeah, might as well. It's not like they're gonna make me run. If I get in trouble, I'm just gonna miss baseball." So
yeah.
So I try one, and so I start spitting. And it's just clear spit. And I'm like, this can't be right.
Right.
I bet I didn't have that thing in for 8 minutes. And I mean, I went in the bathroom, spit it out. I never threw up. But I was laying on the floor just praying to God that I would like sober up a little bit before somebody found me. The room was spinning. It was awful.
Oh, it's the same thing for me, dude. Oh my gosh.
I haven't tried it since.
Yeah. No, I hadn't either. It just never turned me on. Oh, I just never liked it. Never did like it. So, yeah. Anyway. Well, guys, that's been a solid 30 minutes of pure colorectal talk, and we ended up with a little spitting. So, I guess.
Talking about some old backy.
Landon,
pass me that backy. I'll tell you a story.
So, one of my buddies, he said when his dad was in college, they lived in a trailer house. Of course, this was back in like the probably late 60s, early 70s. Anyway, they just cut a hole in the middle of the floor of the living room in the trailer house, just spit in it.
Oh, good gosh.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my grossest story about dipping is when I was in college. I worked at this tire warehouse where we just shipped tires out on trucks and stuff. But anyway, I was like the young guy, the new guy, so I had to like take the trash out the warehouse whenever they were full. So I had this pickup full of trash cans and had one more big heavy trash can, so I kind of had to like lift it kind of like a hay bale. And some dumbass's spit cup dumps right on my face, right in my face. I had a white sweater on that day. And just I mean, this is like 8:30 in the morning, and I'm gonna work there till 5.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was horrible.
Oh, God, that sounds awful. I was riding around with my brother. We were on the farm doing stuff, and he had a spit cup, and he hit a big hole or hit the brakes hard or something, and it just spilled all over his floorboard. I'm like, well, that's what you get. And he really doesn't need to do dip because we've got freaking cancer genes all up and down our genetics. So I mean, he really should cut that shit out. But anyway, what are you gonna do? You only live once, right? And I guess if you dip, you're not gonna live as long. So
well, I kind of want to live longer now because I want to see you start smoking at 75.
Dude, if it comes out that we do cure cancer, I am gonna start smoking like long before then. I'm just gonna be a freaking one heater after another. It's gonna be like John Daly on the 18th hole, dude.
It's gonna be great sitting in a rest home with you. We're 75, you're smoking, and we're still quoting like Seinfeld.
Seinfeld in The Office. Oh, that's what she said. It's gonna be like, who are the Muppets? Waldorf and freaking heckler.
My mama. Yeah, good stuff.
Oh, well, Landon, where can we find you on social media?
No Twit Landon 44.
That's right. And you can find me at Trader Brent. And, of course, we are on all over the Global Ag Network. And check out all the great podcasts on that network. And we are on every type of platform that podcasts are possibly produced on, released on, disseminated on, what other big word you can think of. We're there. And also be sure and check out our good buddy, Casey Seymour, over at the Moving Iron Podcast. He's got a great program there, show for all things ag equipment related and some things that aren't related, like unlike the people in Nebraska, they're all related. So check them out. It's a good time. And so, yeah, we're going to have a great weekend. It's going to be 115 degrees Celsius. And so we're got that to look forward to. And we keep missing the rain. But, hey, you know, what are you going to do? It's the weather. So until next time, guys, y'all stay safe. Y'all stay cool. And we'll ask you, what side of the line are you on?
The Dryline Farmer Podcast, a member of the Global Ag Network. There's podcasts, and then there's this, the Dryline Farmer Podcast.